India, a country of over 1.4 billion people, has gone from being a symbol of poverty and underdevelopment to one of the most rapidly growing economies on the planet. Over the past few decades, India has moved from being a post-colonial economy to an emerging superpower. Its ascent is now a driving force on the global stage, impacting industries, trade routes, energy markets, and the future of technology. To understand the full scope of India's impact, we need to look at what has fueled this growth, how it's changing the world around us, and why it matters more than ever. One of the key engines of India's rise is its tech industry. The country is home to some of the largest tech talent pools in the world, with Indian software developers, engineers, and IT professionals leading global innovation. The industry, which started as an outsourcing hub for customer service and tech support, has now transformed into a global tech powerhouse. Companies like Infosys, Tata Consultancy Services, and Wipro were some of the earliest to put India on the tech map, but today the ecosystem has evolved. India now produces more unicorns, startups valued over $1 billion, than almost any other country, driven by local talent and fueled by international investment. Indian engineers are at the heart of many technological breakthroughs, and the country's focus is shifting from providing services to building its own technological ecosystem, with cutting-edge developments in areas like artificial intelligence, machine learning, and blockchain. With this tech boom comes the rise of India's digital economy. Digital payments, driven by initiatives like the Unified Payments Interface, UPI, have transformed the way Indians transact, creating one of the world's largest digital payment markets. India has leaped past several advanced economies to become a model for cashless transactions, paving the way for developing countries to follow suit. In rural areas where financial services were once limited, mobile payment platforms have created new pathways to economic participation. The global banking sector, too, is paying close attention, as India's low-cost, high-impact digital finance model is one that could influence other economies around the world. But India's story isn't only about tech. It's about a massive and growing consumer base that's redefining global markets. With over 400 million people in its middle class, India has one of the fastest-growing consumer segments in the world. This demographic, with rising incomes and increased spending power, is shaping industries on a global scale. For instance, automakers from Japan, Germany, and the US are scrambling to tailor products to Indian consumers, while tech giants like Apple and Samsung are making India a priority market. It's a shift that has turned India into a global retail and consumption hub. This domestic consumer boom doesn't just boost the economy within India. It impacts supply chains, manufacturing strategies, and consumer trends globally. Energy is another critical component of India's influence. India's demand for energy has skyrocketed as its economy and population have expanded. But unlike other emerging economies, India has made massive strides in green energy, setting ambitious goals to meet its energy needs sustainably. The country has committed to significant solar and wind energy projects, and these initiatives are reshaping the global energy landscape. Prime Minister Modi's government has set a target for India to reach 500 gigawatts of renewable capacity by 2030, a figure that, if achieved, would make India one of the largest renewable energy producers in the world. This shift is not only about meeting India's own energy needs, but also about reducing its reliance on fossil fuels, a change that could drive down oil demand globally and alter the dynamics of energy dependence worldwide. Another area of global impact comes from India's participation in international trade. As India opens up its markets, it's creating new trade relationships and partnerships. The country is involved in major economic alliances and agreements, not only in Asia, but across Europe, the Americas, and Africa. India's trade strategies are carefully calibrated to reduce dependence on any single economy, diversifying its imports and exports to ensure economic stability. As geopolitical tensions rise globally, many countries view India as a reliable trade partner and an alternative to other superpowers. This diversification has been a key reason why India is seen as a valuable ally by Western nations and emerging economies alike, a fact that shifts global power dynamics in India's favor. India's strategic diplomacy is a fascinating case of geopolitical balancing. While it has strong partnerships with the United States, it also maintains deep-rooted ties with Russia and other BRICS nations, such as Brazil, China, and South Africa. India is part of both Western alliances and regional coalitions that challenge Western dominance, creating a complex web of alliances. India's diplomacy is about more than just fostering trade. It's about shaping global discourse. By maintaining neutrality in some international conflicts while supporting allies in others, India has positioned itself as a pivotal player in global geopolitics. This balancing act is a prime example of how India's influence extends beyond its borders, showing a path for other emerging nations to carve out a place on the global stage. Let's explore India's scientific ambitions, which have garnered global recognition and respect. The Indian Space Research Organisation, ISRO, has achieved groundbreaking success, particularly with its low-cost missions to Mars and the Moon. These aren't just symbolic achievements, they represent a new wave of scientific exploration that's accessible to developing nations. ISRO's success has challenged the dominance of traditionally high-budget space programs, proving that remarkable achievements in space can be made without astronomical costs. India's entry into the space race has inspired countries worldwide, particularly those in the global south, to invest in space research. This democratization of space has the potential to alter the dynamics of future space exploration, creating opportunities for collaboration beyond the traditional space powers. Culturally, India wields a unique influence. Bollywood, one of the world's largest film industries, produces over 1,000 films each year, drawing audiences across Asia, the Middle East, Africa, and even the West. But Bollywood is only part of India's cultural export. Yoga, Ayurveda, Indian cuisine, and literature have permeated global culture, creating a brand of soft power that other nations often aspire to but rarely achieve. India's cultural reach promotes a greater understanding and appreciation of its values, making it easier to forge diplomatic relationships and economic partnerships. In a world where cultural influence is as powerful as military might, India's cultural exports have given it an edge in soft diplomacy. However, India's rise comes with challenges that have global repercussions. Income inequality, a healthcare system under strain, and environmental concerns are just some of the pressing issues India faces. Rapid urbanization has led to pollution problems that affect air quality, not only in India, but also in nearby countries. Yet, India's government has shown resilience and adaptability, pushing for reforms to address these issues. Programs targeting poverty reduction, healthcare access, and infrastructure development are in progress, aimed at making growth more inclusive. The stakes are high. If India successfully addresses these challenges, it could serve as a model for other developing nations. If it falters, the global community will feel the impact of India's stumbles. The rise of India is more than just an economic story. It's a tale of transformation with far-reaching implications. By leveraging its strengths in technology, trade, green energy, and diplomacy, India is shaping the future of global economics, politics, and culture. As India's influence grows, the world is witnessing the emergence of a new kind of superpower, one that challenges old norms and sets new benchmarks for what an emerging economy can achieve. India's ascent isn't just a win for its citizens. It's an inspiration for nations worldwide seeking to build their own pathways to power. If this exploration into India's rise was insightful, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. We dive deep into the forces shaping our global economy, unraveling the stories behind the world's most influential countries and companies. Stay tuned for more, and let's continue this journey together. Thanks for watching.